Hello everyone, welcome back to my class. This is Mehjabin Fatima, a teacher at Elipeth High School and Junior College. So in this session, let us proceed towards 17th chapter of Social Studies, that is implementation of laws in the district. Now let's begin with our chapter. So in the previous chapter, we read about how laws are made and how welfare and development programs are carried out. But how are they implemented? Do you think people elect those who implement laws? Do you think once the laws are made, people implement themselves? In this chapter, we would read about how these things are done. So in the previous chapter, we have discussed how these laws are made in the legislature and how welfare and development programs are being carried out. Are the people implementing these laws, or do you think people will elect those who will implement laws? And do you think once the laws are made, people will implement them? So these are the questions, and let's see about it in this chapter. We saw in the last chapter that there are various departments of the government to carry out various kinds of activities. These departments are under the control of ministers, but they have a large number of officials who carry out the orders of the government. Some of these officials are posted in state capital like Hyderabad, from where they plan the implementation in all parts of the state. So in the previous chapter, we have seen that there are various departments of the government to carry out such operations or such kind of activities. So these departments, they are under the control of the ministers, and they are having a large number of officials who will carry out the orders of the government. And some officials, they are posted in the states like Hyderabad, where they will plan the implementation in all parts of the state. At the same time, the entire state divided into a number of districts, and most departments have their offices for the implementation of the government's laws and plans. There are 31 districts in Telangana. So at the same time, when we will see the entire state, it is divided into a number of districts, and most important department have their offices for the implementation of the government's laws. And there are 31 districts in our state Telangana. So basically, each district has a direct collector and magistrate who will coordinate the work of all the departments in that district. Let us learn more about their work. The district collector and magistrate of Nallavaram. So here is an imaginary district of Nallavaram. This district has the following mandals, that is Garipalli, Mallepalli, Narasapet, Gurtur, and the office of district magistrate of the Nallavaram is in Nallavaram town. The district magistrate Manisha Nagle reaches her office at 10:30 every morning. At 11:30 today, there is a meeting of the officers of all departments in the office. The heads of the departments have come for the meeting. The collector asked the head of each department about the progress of the work during the previous month. She also asked them about the problems they face in the work. The meeting continued till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So there is a district magistrate. Her name is Manisha Nagle. She reaches her office at the 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and at 11:30 they will be having a meeting in the office of all departments, and the head of the department, they will come and they will ask about the questions related to previous month in the meeting, and they will ask the problems which they are facing during their work. And the meeting has been continued till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. After the meeting, Manisha Nagle goes through the files. There is a stack of files. So after done with this meeting, this Manisha Nagle, who is the magistrate, she goes through the files, and there is a stack of files for her. Each file deals with the activities of different departments. She reads them and writes her comments or orders on them. It is about 3 p.m. when Manisha Nagle finishes looking at the files. From 3 to 4 every day, she meets the people of the district. People from all the villages come to meet her with their problems. So she will go through all the files, and she will deal with the activities of different departments, and then she will read and write her comments and orders them. And it is about 3 p.m. when Manisha finished looking up those files, and from 3 to 4 every day she will look out for the people of the district, or she will meet with the people of the district, where these villagers, they will come and meet her and tell her about their problems. Some farmers of Mallepalli Mandal had come to discuss the problem of absence of irrigation in their village. The tanks were dry for 2 years. The crops failed this year. They wanted to know if their loans could be waived or if they could get some repair work on tank bund. In the neighboring villages, tank bunds were repaired. They wanted such work to be done in their village. So some farmers, they came to this Manisha Nagle and they said that they are facing problem due to the absence of irrigation in their village, as their tanks were dried up since 2 years and the crops have been failed. So they wanted to know if they can waive their loan or if they could get some repair for their tanks. So in the neighboring villages, the tanks were repaired, they said, so they wanted the same for their village also. Manisha Nagle told them that since their village was not in a state list of draft affected areas, they could not get any loan waiver. Collector suggested that they approach the MLA and present their problems. She promised to instruct the concerned department to attend to the tank bund of the village. So Manisha Nagle, she told that since their village was not from the draft affected area, so they cannot waive their loan. And she also suggested collector that they should approach to the MLA and present their problems, and she has promised to instruct the concerned department to attend the tank bund of the village. At 5 a.m. on the next morning, the collector received a phone call from a town in Narasanpet Mandal. The cotton stored at the grinning mill caught fire in the night. People were trying to put out the fire. The fire service had already reached the area. It was necessary to ensure that fire did not spread to the neighboring areas. Nagle immediately left for Narasanpet Mandal. She called the superintendent of police and the civil surgeon and asked them to go along. So at 5 a.m. in the next morning, the collector received a call from the town in Narasanpet Mandal, and he said that the cotton which was stored at the grinning mill, it caught fire at last night and people were trying to put the fire out, and the fire service, they had already reached the area, but it was necessary to ensure that the fire should not enter to the neighboring villages. So this magistrate Manisha Nagle, she immediately left for Narasanpet Mandal and she called the superintendent of the police and the civil surgeon and asked them to go along with her. The collector reached Narasanpet at around 7 a.m. and went straight to the cotton grinning mill. So at 7-8 in the morning, this collector, he went to Narasanpet Mandal and he went straight to the cotton grinning mill. A lot of cotton has been destroyed, but the fire was now under control. The municipal chairperson and the police officers were also there. The collector asked them about the extent of damage. The chairperson told her that 2 laborers in the mill had suffered severe burns and had been admitted to the hospital. A few houses nearby had also been burned down. So the cotton was almost destroyed, but the fire was under control now, and the municipal chairperson and the police officers were also present there. The collector has asked them about the situation, about the extent of that damage. So the chairperson, he told that 2 laborers, they got severe burns and they had been admitted to the hospital, and a few houses nearby had also been burned with that fire. Nagle announced compensation of 10,000 rupees each to the owners of the houses which were burnt and promised to inquire into the causes of fire. The collector then visited the injured laborers at the hospital. She also announced a relief payment of 20,000 rupees each to the 2 laborers. So this magistrate Manisha Nagle, she announced a compensation of 10,000 rupees for each of the owners of the houses which were burned, and she also promised to inquire about the causes of this fire. And the collector has visited these injured laborers at the hospital, and she also announced a relief payment of 20,000 rupees to each of that 2 laborers. On the way back, she visited municipal office. It was pointed out that due to encroachment of many parts of the city, the fire engine arrived late. Sidewalks on the road were encroached by shopkeepers. Many houses and other offices had illegally extended their boundary walls beyond the permitted lengths. This was lending to traffic jams in many parts of the town. She talked to the municipal officials and asked them to take strict action during the next few weeks and report to her at the next monthly meeting. Manisha Nagle reached Nallavaram only after this was dark. Nallavaram is an imaginary district, but what you saw the collector of Nallavaram doing is the work that they are expected to do in every district. So while coming back from that fireplace, she had visited municipal office, and it was pointed out that due to the encroachment of many parts of the city, the engine had been arrived late. This fire engine which was on the way, it has been arrived late due to the illegal extent of the boundary of the houses, and due to many shopkeepers who were illegally selling or who were illegally keeping their shops on the road, and due to the encroachment of other sidewalks. And she was said that many people had illegally extended their boundary walls beyond the permitted limit, and this was leading to traffic jams in many parts of the town, and due to which the fire engine arrived late at the fire's spot. So for this, she asked with the municipal officials to take the strict action during the next few weeks and report to her in the next meeting. And Marisha Nagle, she reached to Nallavaram only after it was dark. So this was the work which is done by a magistrate of Nallavaram district. So this was imaginary story. What we saw is the collector of Nallavaram is doing her work what she is expected to. What we saw is the collector of this Nallavaram district is doing the work what they have to do in every district. Let's see how laws are implemented. To understand this, first we need to understand the actual law. In the previous chapters, we have read about the significance of groundwater and how it has historically been important in our agricultural development. We also have perennial rivers and forest areas, yet today we find that in many parts of Telangana, bore wells are dug up to 1500 feet or more. In the long run, it may not be viable to have such system of irrigation or drinking water. So, how these laws are implemented? So, to understand this, first we need to understand the actual meaning of law. So, in the previous chapter, we have seen about the significance of groundwater and how it has historically been important in the agricultural development. We also have the perennial rivers and forest areas, but still we find in many parts of the Telangana, people are digging up the bore wells about 1500 feet or more. So in the long run, it may not be viable to have such system of irrigation or drinking water. Let's see about Andhra Pradesh Water, Land and Trees Protection Act 2002. It is important to protect these resources for the benefit and survival of the next generation. In this connection, the government of Andhra Pradesh enacted the Andhra Pradesh Water, Land and Trees Protection Act in 2002. It is being implemented since 19/4/2002. Some of the features of this law are: so it is important to protect these resources for the benefit and survival of the next generation. If we are continuing with the same, then our generation will be affected with this. So in this connection, the government has been enacted the Andhra Pradesh Water, Land and Trees Protection Act in 2002, and it is being implemented since 19/4/2002. And some of the features of this law are: permission from Mandal Revenue Officer is essential to dig new wells. So if you wanted to or if you have to drill new wells, then you have to take the permission from the revenue officer, as it is essential to take the permission of the revenue official. Specific depth and distance should be maintained between the wells to avoid unnecessary competition. So there should be a specific depth at which you can dig up this borewell, and the distance should be maintained between the two wells to avoid unnecessary competition. Steps to be taken to prevent the wastage of rainwater, and industrial units should have wastewater treatment plants. Protection of drinking water. In the regions affected by groundwater depletion, sand quarrying from river bed is prohibited. Social forestry to be taken up on large scale. Cutting trees without permission is prohibited. When one tree is cut, 2 saplings should be planted. So whenever if the people they are cutting the tree, 2 saplings should be planted by them. So after the law was passed, government formed an authority to implement the act. It was called the Water, Land and Trees Protection Authority, or WALTA. So after passing this law, the government it has formed a authority to implement the act, and it was called as the Water, Land and Trees Protection Authority, or WALTA. If you look carefully, in order to implement a law like this, it is necessary that different departments of the government work together. You can note that the forest departments has to be taken into account because forests are important for saving water, and the department in charge of industry to ensure that the factories are not polluting water. So when we will have a glance over this, we can say that the government or the people who are related to such department, they should look out for their work as it is necessary for us in the future. And forest department has to be taken into account because forests are very much important, and for saving water, the department in charge of industry is to ensure that all factories should not pollute the water. Thus, we can say that democratic country like ours, there are different roles played by elected representatives and appointed government officials. In many ways, these are different from the way kings and priests dictated different aspect of our lives. That is not to say that all the different forms of marginalization, disparities and discrimination have been removed from this society, but we can work towards achieving them. Thus, we can conclude that the democratic country like ours, there are different roles played by the elected representative and appointed government officials. So, in many ways, these officials or the persons related to the departments, they are different from the priests who are living with the different aspect of their life. And that is not to say that all the different parts of the marginalization, discrimination and disparities have been removed from our society, and we can reach out or we can work out together to achieve the same goals. So this was all about our chapter, implementation of laws in the district. Let's continue our next chapter in next class. Thank you.